Hey, what is going on, everyone? DimitriusMac here, and welcome back to another episode of Tips, a series where I give unorthodox yet effective tips on how to succeed in video games. Today, folks, I want to go over some things that hopefully get you to think a little bit about your purchases, coming up with two upcoming NBA simulators. That happens to be NBA 2K and NBA Live 18. Now, for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to be showing footage from NBA Live 18's demo because that's what the majority of this video is going to be about. This is going to be about getting the feel and seeing how it compares up to 2K for people who are maybe wondering about that sort of thing, or how does it compare up to its last version, NBA Live 16, after taking a year break. What does it feel like? Or for those of you who may be jumping into the NBA simulator for the very first time, you're trying to decide between NBA 2K or NBA Live. Hopefully after watching this video you'll have some sort of idea about what NBA Live is about. I decided to make this video because after playing this game I have some very interesting thoughts about this and about this series and about where it's headed, and some of them are good and some of them are not so good. So without further ado, folks, let's go ahead and jump into the very first thing that I want to talk about. So the first thing that I want to address, and I feel like is the most important, is absolutely the gameplay. Now, while the gameplay may look very crisp to you on the screen here, in some ways it is, in some ways it's not. Now, I want to measure this up for the people out there who want to see how this compares up, whether it's your first time playing NBA Live or whether you're playing it for the first time in a while, or whether you're wanting to see how it lines up compared to NBA Live. So what are the tweaks they made? What are the things that they have changed since NBA Live 16? Or just simply how it compares to NBA 2K. Maybe you're fed up with 2K and you're trying to look into something a little bit different, and you're trying to see if NBA Live is here to fit that description of something different for you. Well, I can tell you this, folks. It shoots like 2K. It's got the shot meter, almost directly the same thing as NBA 2K. The handles are pretty much the same. The bounce pass, the lob. It plays a lot like NBA 2K. There is a very big difference that I noticed in the gameplay, and I don't know if you guys can maybe be able to tell on screen here, but the game pace is a lot slower, and that is a good and that is a bad thing. And I feel like it could be good for a lot of people who may be playing the game for the very first time, who need to catch up, people who are not used to this type of game style. Maybe you've never played a sports simulator in your life. This slow gameplay will help you adapt, in my opinion, a lot faster than it would, let's say, in NBA 2K. Now, the bad news about this is because of its slow gameplay and because of its slow pace, it starts to feel unrealistic. When you start to shoot a shot and you're getting blocked by players because they're able to catch up with you because your release is too slow, it starts to feel unrealistic. Or when you do a fast dribble move and then your animation starts to slow down when you're going to the hoop. I feel like with quick players such as John Wall or Kyrie Irving or Russell Westbrook, players who rely on their quickness to get to the basket, I feel like they're not going to be accurately represented in this game because of the because of the slow pacing of this game. It just doesn't feel right to me. There is some things that I do like about the gameplay, though. Some people may disagree with me, but I do like the little light sticks that attach you to the character. It shows where your character is at. Whatever character you're on, there's a little line that's going to be showing you where you're at all times, and where you need to go to guard what player you're going to be connected to, because players can get lost on screen, players can get lost on types of plays, all types of stuff can get you lost. And while I do believe it's a little bit of a cheat, and I hope they don't include this online, I do think it's going to be very vital for new players who come on. Another thing that I do like is the little arrows that tell you that blink green, blink red, I believe, and sometimes white. Those arrows are going to tell you whether you defended that person in the right direction, if you're pushing your control pad in the right direction, your D-pad or whatever you're using. Not the D-pad, I'm sorry, your control sticks, whether on Xbox or PlayStation. I'm not sure how that's supposed to translate for PC because I've never played any of these games on PC, but I will say that I do like that feature right there. Another thing that I do like is also the animation of the block. I feel like blocking in this game is very much better than NBA 2K, but I feel like it's more realistic. I feel like the blocks are more animated and more realistic, and it just feels more natural when blocks are made. The only problem is I feel like there may be an abundance of blocks in this game because of the slowing up of characters when they drive to the basket. They don't keep that speed when you're using your player on offense to go do a layup or even a dunk. That same speed is just slowed down, I feel like, tremendously, where it's going to take away a lot of would-be easy buckets. Other than that, like I said, folks, this kind of runs similar to NBA 2K. It's just very, very slow in my opinion, and it doesn't have that fast pace that I feel like a lot of games do. So with the gameplay being covered, folks, another thing that I want to go over now is, of course, the Rise, which is their version, I guess, of NBA 2K's My Career. And the Rise is a very interesting thing. I went through the player creation, and it seems like they have an abundance of things to choose from here, folks. For the purposes of this video, though, I did not go ahead and create a player. I just went with the most generic player because I just wanted to get straight to the gameplay, straight to the things that this introduced. And I like some of the things that it has here. It has some of the trait systems right here, and I like the idea of being able to interchange some of the traits before you go out onto the court and you start a game. I think that's actually a really cool feature. And also, it seems this character here, Nick Howard, he seems to be taking the Justice Young role of NBA 2K17. He seems to be taking that role, whereas he's the guy that's going to be texting you and getting you in all the types of events and stuff like that. So that's pretty 2K-ish, if you will, right there. But one of the things that I do is some of the decisions seem to have more impact, whereas decisions with Justice Young or your agent in NBA 2K didn't really have too much of an impact. But this one, as you guys can see here, you get the chance to earn reputation and among other things based on the decisions that you make. And I think that's a really neat ad. I really do think that's a really neat ad. And that's pretty much everything that's really been shown here, folks. That NBA Live has allowed us to show. Of course, you can play after you play the first 2 chapters, you get to actually play online, which is actually pretty cool. And you also get to play in NBA Play Now. You can either play as the Cleveland Cavaliers or the Golden State Warriors. Of course, they're not going to be releasing the full roster of teams yet. But with that being said, folks, the last thing that I do want to talk about, and it's the most important thing here, at the end of the day, after reviewing all this stuff, after seeing everything out here, at the end of the day, you need to go and decide for yourself. I highly recommend downloading this demo, checking it out for yourself, because just because you're getting an informed opinion about this game, about some of the things I said, the demo is available to you, folks, and you're not gonna know unless you go out there and get it yourself, unless you go out there and download and try it for yourself. Don't take this video and use it as a sole opinion, like, oh, you know what, I really am gonna get this game, or anybody else for a matter of fact that you may watch. Go out and make your own formulated opinion. This is just to give you guys a little bit of a heads up about what you're gonna expect when you can get there. And like I said, if you check it out yourself, you may think I'm wrong on some of these points, and I'd love to know some of your opinions out there, folks. So be sure to leave what you thought of this video, what you think of NBA Live versus NBA 2K this year. Who do you think is going to take the crown this year? What game do you think is going to be better? What are some of the pros and cons of each game? Are you looking for them to fix? Are you looking for them to keep? Just let me know in the comment section below, folks. And that is it for this episode of Tipz. Thank you all so much for watching. Tipz premieres once every month, although this is the first Tipz within 2 months, and I apologize for that, folks. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, and if you're new here and you think I deserve a subscriber, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And with that being said, folks, I will see you all in the next video. Until then, I'm DimitriusMac, and I am out. Peace.
Top dog, bite them all, yeah, I'm burning it up. DPGC, you should be turning it up. CBT, LBC, yeah, we hooking back up. And when they bang us in the club, baby, you got to get up. Cause homies, thug homies, yeah, they giving it up. Low life, yo life, boy, we living it up. Taking chances while we dancing in the party for show. Slip my girl a 44 when she crept in the back door.